This podcast is a proud member of the UUOP network.
This is episode 701 of the unofficial Universal Orlando podcast for February 11th, 2026. Hey everyone, it is me, Lee. I am here and we are excited to, maybe get an hour out of it. We've been talking already. Seth doesn't think we're going to get an hour out of it, but we'll see where we go. I am here.
Wrong.
I am here with Tracy, Chris and Michelle, and as you just heard there, our Little Things contributor and co-author of the unofficial guide, Mr. Seth Kubersky. Hello, Seth.
It's so nice to actually talk to you instead of just sit in my little booth and send off my little things into the void. It's great to talk to all of you.
This recording's interactive. That's cool.
Right? I'm not an AI. I promise. I'm not a bot.
I mean, it could be that. Seth, I have a little bone to pick with you, actually, that me, Tracy and I have never brought. So, you remember when we met up in the Universal Suite store at Horror Nights last year, and you're like, if you want to do Terrifier straight off the bat, you might want to get in line right now. Do you remember that?
Do you remember that? I do.
So,
how did that work out for you?
Well, Tracy and I very nearly passed out in that line that night, and I am not kidding.
I did warn you, though, that Terrifier was not covered. That if you wanted to be inside, that Five Nights at Freddy's was the way to go for early entry.
That was with umbrellas as well.
They brought a drinks trolley out after an hour and a half, and they ran out of water in 10 minutes. Yeah, it was bad.
I saw one night, I saw someone ahead of me in line pass out, and it was, I shouldn't laugh about it. It was a little scary. They eventually got them taken care of, but that heat is no joke. And as cold as it is right now, I'm not looking forward to the heat of August.
We were lucky that we had friend Chuck with us, who was like babysitting Tracy and I, because at one point we were both like sat on the floor, like breathing through our knees.
30 seconds apart, didn't it? It was weird.
Very strange.
And I do not do passing out.
Anyway, that was last year. We are here to talk about this year. So Seth, how did you feel? Obviously last year was a big year, so let's do Seth's recap of last year, how you feel Universal Orlando went. Obviously we had the opening of Epic yesterday. Yesterday, it wasn't yesterday, it was last year.
Yesterday. It feels like just yesterday. I don't think that anything since 1999 or maybe 2010, the opening of the first Wizarding World, can even come close to what 2025 was. So I am having very, very low expectations for 2026. I know the year cannot live up to what we all went through in 2025. That was one for the record books.
Did you hear that, Chris? It was one for the record books. Where were you on opening day, sir?
He's never going to live this down.
You didn't invite me, so I'm going to stick with that.
Pretty sure there were conversations.
I'm only ruining you, Chris, because I really wanted you there, buddy.
I wish we were all there. It's all dead. That's on me. I'll take the L on that one.
But yeah, I guess
blame it on Lucas.
I guess the first thing that we've got this year then, Seth, is the River Adventure going down for nearly a year-long refurb.
Yes, and I know the question on everyone's minds is, what will it look like when it comes back? I have heard no indication that it's going to be rethemed as Jurassic World.
Really?
I think it's still going to be Jurassic Park. But I hope it gets the love that it needs. The infrastructure, I think, is what a lot of the work is going to be done on. But God knows all those animatronics could use more than just new skins. They need a full-on upgrade.
Yes.
It's funny, I think a lot of the speculation of it changing to the Jurassic World version that's out in Hollywood was, if you look at the time that one was down, it's about the same time that this one's down.
I mean, if they were doing that, we would have to be seeing permits popping up at some point.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, I think you then would be changing the whole land over to Jurassic World, and that would
yeah, that's a tricky one.
Yeah, I'm not seeing that. That's my money is on it staying Jurassic Park, but hopefully we'll be back to I remember its opening year. Those animatronics were once impressive, and hopefully they will be again.
But isn't Velocicoaster Jurassic World?
Yes.
Jurassic, yes. And there is a little reference to the river adventure in the audio at the end of the Jurassic World Velocicoaster, but I don't see that Jurassic World theming spreading. I hope not.
Elsewhere.
Well, just to play devil's
Hopefully
advocate,
I'm not wishing
also,
it into existence by denying it.
Well,
out loud.
To play devil's advocate, we also have that raptor encounter too, right? That's technically blue, which would be
right. Yeah,
Jurassic World.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird one. Like I kind of like the old property better, but I wouldn't mind that new layover or overlay.
Well, it would be cool for them to kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Like make the Jurassic World stuff look overgrown, right? Like it's in the history,
Park
it's like
stuff.
Artifacts almost in order to bring us into Jurassic World. That would be, that would be a way for them to keep it. But
that's something though
also
would require, I think, closing a lot more of the land than just the river adventure ride.
That's true.
So.
Yeah.
Look, we're just being hypocrites again, where we don't care about how things look, but then we really do secretly.
You know what? and honestly, you're gonna. I think we're pretty clear that there's going to be a Jurassic World in the UK park. We've got Jurassic World in California. We've got Jurassic World in Beijing. Let's have Jurassic Park endure in just one place, please.
Yeah, because then I suppose it's Jurassic World in the Texas park as well, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's like or Camp Cretaceous.
like a camp.
That is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
The kiddie version of Jurassic World.
So what could they do to those animatronics to bring them
replace them
up to? Yeah, I mean that would be such a huge investment.
Yeah,
I would think.
It's always tough when you have outdoor animatronics, but we've seen, in the last 25 years, a lot of advancements, even in places like zoos, where they do these outdoor dinosaur walkthrough exhibits, and a lot of those are more impressive than what Universal has now.
I think it needs it though, doesn't it? Like I've said, with the opening of Epic Universe last year, you see, like, just take Monsters Unchained for example, how much those animatronics have come on, and it was always my concern that people who never visited Universal Orlando before would make that pilgrimage because of Epic Universe, go to Epic Universe and be blown away by it, and then go to the legacy parks and be like, these are a bit.
And then get terrified by the Cat in the Hat.
I mean, that desperately needs some TLC. I wish they would go in and bring that up to modern standards, quite honestly.
Yeah.
Right, Cat in the Hat.
Yeah, because it's frightening.
Like motion of like that Navi animatronic.
It's got some jank in there.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's like they should just turn it into a Horror Nights house. Like just have that one, do the crossover and then just do some creepy lighting and put some sound effects in it, and it would be scary as hell.
Or just give us some gummies to pop before we enter the
Michelle.
line. I mean, that would make it pretty cool.
Let's not go down that route because we all know how that happens.
That's a whole nother episode.
It is. Yeah. We've had that episode, Seth. I don't know whether you know that story.
Been there, tried that.
Let's save
Didn't
that
go
for
well.
a bonus episode.
Oh, goodness.
I mean, one dear to Chris's heart, obviously Finnegans closing down this year. Seth, do we know, is that just getting a full refurb? Is it getting a retheme? What do we know?
I think there's going to be pretty extensive work to the kitchen and the bar layout. I've heard that they are flipping things around so that they'll be able to have a walk-up window to the bar on the outside.
Okay. Chris?
I think we also, they might kind of, it's always had that like kind of weird movie set where it's like 70% finished and then there's weird open spaces, up above. And I have a feeling that it might get finished out in a more, realistic finish, traditional way rather than the movie set look, because the movie set thing is kind of done.
Yeah, I agree.
I know when we spoke to somebody,
I didn't even realize that.
Like on our last visit, we spoke to a couple of the people there, and obviously take it with a grain of salt because they work there, but they hear things.
Bartenders are right up there with bus drivers for reliable information.
Exactly,
and Uber drivers as well, I'm sure.
I mean, what they had told us was one of the major things was to build out a fuller kitchen in there to support Mardi Gras and Horror Nights. And then the other big thing was there was lots and lots and lots of mold.
Yes. I remember that. I mean, that whole block, that whole building. I know that the audio techs climbed up. At least they used to back in my day. Climbed up to a little window, second story, that's kind of above Finnegans for the Blues Brothers show. And I remember that space being terrifying and infested with all sorts of things, and that was decades ago. So I can't imagine, if once they peel back the walls.
I didn't even know they go up there, to be honest with you. I've always seen them like standing like on the ground level, holding an iPad.
Yeah, I don't. So. I think these days they probably do it with an iPad, but back in the day there was a little tech access up there, and I remember that being pretty scary.
Yeah, the mold probably turned into like the Upside Down.
Probably, yeah.
I mean, I think there's probably a similar reason why the horror makeup show, they had some work done on their HVAC, and I think more is probably going to be done this year. Anything that's like an original building now is probably really need a cleaning out.
Again, I don't think that's a bad thing. Like I said, that disparity between Epic and those two parks, I think I think those islands and studios definitely need that to bring them up. This is always the problem, isn't it, with opening a brand new state-of-the-art park, because it makes your other parks look a bit dated, which they are, to be fair, but it's sad because I don't want people to go to Epic and then visit the other two parks and be kind of like, oh, well, I have no reason to go to them because they're crap and I'm just going to go to Epic all the time.
Yeah, but there's a bit of charm that goes with older parks, and nostalgia. Like visiting one of the oldest theme parks in the entire world in Copenhagen did not, like, the fact that I had visited Epic Universe did not change at all the fact that I loved this nostalgic, antique, old style of theme park that was in Copenhagen. So it's, that park, but I don't know.
That's also remarkably well preserved. It's gotten a coat of paint in the last few years, which some parts of Universal might not have.
Which park is this?
Yeah, what is it called?
I don't know how to pronounce it. Tivoli
Gardens.
Tivoli Gardens.
Love to go there.
Tivoli, yeah.
Is that the one with the Epcot ball?
No, that's Europa Park.
Or Future Scope.
Desperate
Tivoli
to
is
get
what
to Europa Park.
Europa.
Walt Disney visited that made him come up with the idea of Disneyland. Yeah, very cool.
How have you been there and I haven't?
Because you don't travel anywhere.
I've only got to Florida. That's a problem.
You should check out Europe, Lee. It's pretty cool.
It's not actually. I don't like it. It's full of Europeans.
We spent a night in Copenhagen on our flight back from Greece and went to the parks. It was pretty cool.
Nice.
Interesting. You never told me that before. How come we're just finding that out now?
Just never tell you everything.
Maybe because I came back from Greece and some other stuff happened in life.
Fair enough.
Took away all the fun stuff that happened.
But I mean, Finnegans is such a weird one, isn't it? I understand they have to do it, but it's like, it's going to really hurt Horror Nights. I know you said on Little Things last week, Seth, about them changing that bar kind of out at the back of Transformers. It looks like that's
going to be a temporary location. And I even saw what I think might be those temporary warming ovens so that they can have some hot food out of that location too. Okay. I don't know if they've had that from there in the past.
It's really going to hurt food, like sit down places like Louis and stuff are really going to get rammed in the summer. Then if you take away a bar and a pretty decent sized restaurant, it's going to be tough on the rest of the park at that point. And I bet Lombard's is still empty most of the time.
Probably.
That's the thing, that Finnegans was always packed, and even on a busy day, you can usually get a table at Lombard's.
Strange, isn't it? I know since we started the podcast, we've talked about Lombard's being the signature restaurant of studios, and yet we've never been because it doesn't grab us. Like I do want to go at some point, but because it's seafood's such a divisive food stuff for people, so it's not like you can go to Mythos and there's something there for everyone can find something they want. Lombard's isn't like that, and I think that's San Francisco theming. It'd be interesting to see if that ever would go away.
Right. Well, I mean, that leads us to the question of what happens to Supercharged in 2027, because if we don't have that as a anchor San Francisco attraction, do we need San Francisco in the park at all?
It would be interesting. I would like to see that change. Because there's nothing to anchor.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, even Fast and Furious doesn't fit in San Francisco. So
no, they twisted it around to fit in there.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see if they would get rid of San Francisco altogether and do something else. Because I know Michelle speculated that she thought Secret Life of Pets might go in there
as an extension of New York.
Yeah,
that wouldn't be bad. Honestly. The Secret Life of Pets attraction, at least the way it is in Hollywood, doesn't need nearly as much space as that plot of land would take up. And I see them changing out the attraction, the theming of that attraction, but not the basic ride hardware. Okay. They've also got an empty, projection tunnel in Hollywood on the tram tour that they need to fill. And my bet is that anything that's going to go into Florida is something they can also share with Hollywood.
I would love to see them do something like, but you've got Kong, so go down the route of the legendary monsters and do like a Godzilla or something like that. I think that's I think that's something that would fit at Universal so well.
Very much
and
so.
to put that in there would be fantastic. It's like I say, you've got the legacy of Kong there. It's that next extension of that would work so well.
Yeah, that could be a great. I'm not sure who right now owns all of those Kong Godzilla monster type things.
Yeah.
Monarch. I'm not sure who has those rights.
I think it was Legendary Pictures for a while.
My personal vote of something that could easily also, because I think whatever has to go into Supercharged has to be able to also be reused as a finale for the Hollywood tour. So I would love to see them use the projection tunnels for a recreation of lost moments from the studio tour and from Universal Studios. Could have a Back to the Future segment. You could have a Ghostbusters segment. Could have the collapsing bridge or the ice tunnel that used to be in Hollywood. Mash them all up into a recreation of lost vintage retro Universal.
Yeah,
like the great
movie ride.
The great Universal movie ride. Yeah. Exactly. Except
I'd be all over that.
How many people? How many people were up in arms when they closed the great movie ride at Disney? And it was janky as hell in a lot of parts, but it was awesome. Like we did it every time we went.
Yes, we did.
And it's a way of, like Seth, you said it earlier, of like you'd like to see them go down the route of it being more about movie making. So it doesn't necessarily need to go down that route, but then do something like this to give show your legacy to people coming in at that park. I think would be a massive draw, quite honestly.
How many years have people been asking for like a museum of past rides and stuff like that? It'd be great.
Well, look back to when the Gardens of Allah was getting refurbed and everyone was convinced it was going to be a Universal Orlando museum, and it wasn't.
Well, I still miss the Legacy store. I think now that the Epic Preview Center has served its purpose, I would love to see Legacy items go back there too. I've always thought that Disney is able to get away with a lot with charging more and more for less and less because they have nostalgia on their side. Yeah, they have that powerful emotional tool, and Universal, by always trying to be new and fresh and current, they kind of disconnected in some ways with older fans, and I think there's a rich vein of nostalgia to mine and make money off of.
There is, and I think if you look over the last year or so, they've mined that a little bit with the Summer Tribute Store and Sensational and the Summer Movie Parade. They're definitely looking at that more and more. Yeah,
for sure. And they've done some good things with 90s style merchandise and throwback stuff. Disneyland does these Disneyland After Dark, and they've got had a 90s nights and other throwback nights. I'd love to see Universal do something similar to the Fan Fest nights that they do out in Hollywood, but maybe themed around Universal of the 90s. Bring back some old characters, some old street shows, that kind of thing.
I'd love to see them do.
Amen.
I know they had the mega movie parade, but I'd like to see them do. Is it Japan or Beijing that has that nighttime parade? There's like a Transformers float and a Harry Potter. It's amazing. Yeah. I would love to see this. I love a nighttime parade, and Universal have never had one. They've never had one.
They have, and you've been to it.
All right, the one at Halloween Horror Nights in 2014. Yeah, that was a long time ago. But I mean,
2014?
2004. Sorry,
wasn't 14 the number?
Yeah, I was like, what? Sorry,
wasn't 14 the number?
Yeah, it was.
There you go then.
Yeah, that's why.
Oh, that's what I remember everything.
Because Universal have always struggled up until the Mega Movie Parade. They've always struggled with parades because the Superstar Parade was crap.
It was.
That's what you really think.
Oh, it was terrible. It was terrible.
It was bad. It was bad.
I would love to see them do a nighttime parade, and I don't understand because they do it. They do the Mardi Gras one. They do the Christmas
other than
one.
Mardi Gras, you know, the holiday parade, the current one, is a solid parade, and I enjoy the Mega Movie Parade for what it is. But I would love to see Universal's take on a nighttime parade.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like you're gonna look at Disney and look at like Spectro. Like I used to adore Spectro Magic.
I think we're not going to see that. The closest we're going to see that in the next year is going to be an upgraded version of the fountain show at the end of the night at Epic Universe. Since we've been seeing some projections testing, and they're working on the fireworks permanent fireworks launch site. So I think that's the next nighttime spectacular to get an upgrade at Universal.
And that probably needs it, because from what we've heard, that fountain show isn't even choreographed. They basically just do something at the end of the night is what we heard. So it's not actually, they don't have an actual thing.
It feels like a demo. It feels like it's a tech demo that they put it to some music, and they're like, this is a placeholder, and didn't expect it to actually get performed on a regular basis.
Well, Tracy's always found it odd that like when we went to the media event, that grand opening on the Wednesday night, that we're the only ones that got to see the actual sort of full-on nighttime spectacular with fireworks and drones and all the rest of it, and then they've never done anything like that again. Yeah,
I mean the show that they do on a nightly basis is not bad, but it's very brief.
Yes,
and it's not something, you know. I tell people, don't skip getting in line for a ride you really want to do in favor of the fountain show, because it's not that good. But hopefully someday it will be that good that people will get drawn, because that's what they need. They need something to draw people out of the portals and into Celestial Park at closing time.
It's strange that they've put so much effort into that fountain and then not actually had something from day one. I mean, to go back to when we went with Chris and Alexa in October, Alexa was more than happy to go and sit in Pizza Moon and wait for our pizza and miss the fountain show. That's how excited about it she was.
I mean, to be honest, I got soaked. You were all right.
But that fireworks permanent location, have they announced where that is? Or
I've seen pictures.
They don't announce anything until it's already finished. But we've seen, thanks to BioReconstruct, we've seen pictures of a trench being dug and area being flattened out. So we're pretty sure that's what it is.
UUOP is brought to you by the Producers Club. Join today and get bonus episodes, the chance to be a guest host, birthday shoutouts on air, be part of our awesome Facebook community, and more. Head over to uuop.supercast.com to subscribe. Shameless plug.
I've seen there was a lot of YouTubers putting videos out last year of like 2026 might not be the year to go to Universal Orlando because of like nothing opening and things closing and stuff. And I know you mentioned it in little things, Seth, that the signs in the two restaurants supposedly coming to Epic Universe this year now don't look like they are.
Yeah, I don't have any good news about that. I think they're still going to happen eventually, but I was hoping it was going to be within the first quarter. And now whatever building out was supposed to be happening in there, I haven't heard of any progress recently. I mean, it's still permitted. I think it's still planned. They definitely could use a little more capacity, if nothing else, because Pizza Moon just gets totally overwhelmed. Maybe they just need 3 more pizza restaurants. But it seems like, I don't know, there was a lot of urgency to do that dining, and now it seems like they've shifted, with survey markers going up around the Wizarding World expansion area. It seems like that and that multi-purpose building that's up at the front next to Super Nintendo World. It seems like those are coming first now.
It's strange for them. We complain, and you've already said it there, that they normally don't announce anything until it's like virtually finished. For them to put those signs on those restaurants of coming in 2026 and then take them down, that's the exact opposite of what they normally do.
It is that's a Disney move for sure.
That's why they
unusual for Universal. I still think that those restaurants will open eventually, but I just think it's being slow rolled now for whatever reason.
Strange when they're already talking about, I know Michelle brought it up on the last episode about them increasing capacity, of hoping to increase it to full capacity this year, which is 50,000, Seth, is that right?
Well, they certainly have never announced 50,000 as an official capacity number. What I have heard unofficially is right now they're capping it at around 22,000 people per day. And if you multiply that out, if they were to fill up 22,000 people a day for 365 days a year, that only gets them to 8 million people a year. Right now, studios and IOA both do about 9.5 million people a year, and I know they want more people visiting Epic. So they've got a ways to go before they get there. And I think, most of it is a matter of reliability for the attractions. I think that's what's holding them back. There's still so much regular downtime for Ministry of Magic, of course, and other key rides. And until they're, those people eaters are able to eat people the way they're supposed to, there's only so many people you can shove in the park.
It's interesting, isn't it? I said to the guys because we rode it in October with Chris and Alexa, and I won't say how long we waited for it, but it wasn't very long. But when they loaded it, they only loaded the front 8 seats. So we went out with the car half loaded, and I'm like, the wait time for this ride is currently 240 minutes, and you're only loading half cars.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah,
and it was all the cars.
I've never seen that personally. I'm not sure what was up with that. That's very odd.
Yeah,
I've seen it too, and I've seen a lot of I don't want to say inept, but maybe undertrained or team members, especially at Ministry of Magic. I just feel like the team members that are running those rides aren't as experienced or sharp as some of the other attractions at the other parks. So I'm sure that also.
So from my just personal anecdotal experience, what happens now that we're 6 months plus after the opening of the park, what you get is the best and the brightest often do get recruited to be the opening team, and they're all very excited, and a lot of them end up burning out within the first weeks or months of the park being open. And they get backfilled with a second wave of people who do not necessarily get the same training that the people who were there as the opening crew did. Sometimes there's a disconnect between the first wave of team members and the replacements who have to come in.
The B team.
Yeah.
That's been my experience. It's just the B team. It's pretty obvious that they're the B team.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm interested to see, just yesterday was the first day that Ministry of Magic was officially made part of early park admission. Until now, it's just kind of been like a bonus thing that you just sort of had to be in the know that anyone, even if they're not staying in a hotel, could line up early for Ministry of Magic. And most days it would run early, not all days. Now that it's officially part of early park admission, first of all, that implies that they think it's going to be ready to run an hour before the park on a regular basis. That didn't work out today. I think it started running around 40 or so minutes late today. And by the time it did, it was posted at 200 something minutes. Wow.
Yeah.
So, I'm a little bummed that as someone who isn't staying on site, my trick for getting a ride in the morning, it was no longer going to work. But I think now I'm just going to sleep in and not show up at Epic until noon, even if I bought a day ticket.
That's my schedule.
It's just not worth it.
But Chris doesn't do it because it's not worth it. He does it because he can't get his ass out of bed before 11 o'clock.
Yeah. I'll meet you in the park, Seth.
Yeah.
I'm all for them shifting to a noon to midnight schedule. I think that would be perfect because the park's so much better at night.
When we met Chris and Alexa there in October, Tracy and I feel like I mentioned that a lot. Tracy and I were at the park at like 8:30. Chris and Alexa turned up at like 11:15, and we had to buy their tickets for them as well.
Right.
Because of that, we got a different experience. We did. It was great.
It makes a lot of sense that Potter's the one going to get the first expansion then, because of how inconsistent that ride is and how busy the wait times are. That's the one that needs the extra capacity.
The demand, and simply the fact that the land was designed to have 2 major attractions in addition to the show, and one of them was unceremoniously cut, and you just can't take away an e-ticket and not expect it to affect the crowd flow in the rest of the park.
Yeah.
So it badly needs it.
Where's the entrance to the expansion going to go?
My understanding is that it will be right where the facade for the French ministry is right now, kind of like directly opposite Bar Americain.
Yeah.
Okay.
By the bar, right?
The Bar Moonshine down that bottom. You turn right at the top of Place Cachet. It's like down. There's like a blonde end down there, isn't there?
Blonde
end. Blonde end. Yeah.
That's so local.
To the right of the stairs to nowhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's where I'm assuming it'll be.
Do we know what it's going to be?
It would make sense. Well, my co-author Alicia Stella is very, very convinced that it is going to be an indoor roller coaster type broomstick ride.
Okay.
That's not the first time I've heard that.
That makes sense. When you go back to Hogsmeade opening, there was supposed to be a kind of broom coaster, like sort of Pteranodon Flyers type thing there. So it's something they've kind of been toying with for quite a while.
Yeah. I don't know exactly what ride hardware or what the theming will be, but I would be happy with that. Would be a good place, I think, to use Fantastic Beasts. Not necessarily the characters from Fantastic Beasts, just the Fantastic Beasts themselves. Like having a broomstick ride passed through a whole bunch of different animatronic creatures. I'd be on board for that.
That would be so cool.
I think it would have to be something. It's good. It's going to be indoors, from what we can see from the permits and the survey markers, and if nothing else, because the park needs more indoor attractions.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to have to be like, on a family thrill level. It's not going to be a Stardust Racers. I think the park needs more things that are accessible for, if not little kids, then at least, a broader age range.
It's interesting, isn't it, Chris? Because you think about a conversation we had with a friend early doors of the disparity between that land being called the Ministry of Magic, and yet you walk into Place Cachet. Can you remember what that person told us about the expansions for that world, Chris?
From what I remember, and I have it written down somewhere, it's like the name right now doesn't make sense because there were supposed to be multiple portals or multiple ministries. Across different countries. I could have sworn there was supposed to be 3 rides or 3 different ministries or something with more than just 2, but we only had one.
We can just slap an S onto the end of the sign and call it the Ministries of Magic.
Because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense right now. It's called the Wizarding World of Harry Potter Ministry of Magic. You walk into Place Cachet, so it's like it doesn't make sense. And I know we're hypocritical.
If they called it Place Cachet, I think most people would be, what's that strange foreign word? I don't like that.
You mean like those people who can't pronounce Café Lair de la Sirène properly?
Right, exactly.
I did hear somebody call Place Cachet Place Catchy. Place Catchy.
Yes, and if the land was titled that is exactly how it would be pronounced in the South.
Well, we were...
Cash.
One of the first times we did Le Cirque Arcanu, there was a guy behind us queuing through that. When they announced it as Le Cirque Arcanu, he was like, they can't even pronounce it properly, what they're talking about. And I just wanted to go, what do you think it's called? Like Le Cirque Arcanus? Because I'll be honest, that's what I called it the first time. And I had a certain Mrs. Digenova reach out to me and go, that's not how you pronounce it, sir. When you just, I don't want to be that person in a theme park, but I just want to turn around and go, just give your head a shake, mate.
I wish to go to Universal Studios Singapore.
Hello, I'm Steven Spielberg. Ride the movies at Universal Studios Singapore. A spectacular destination for the people of the region and the people of the world.
Where can our vacation wizards take you? Just tap the port key at portkeyvacations.com and let the magic begin.
Since we have Seth, can we skip over to islands and talk about Lost Continent for a little bit?
Yeah, sure. Your guess is as good as mine how soon this is going to happen. But all signs are pointing to Pokemon.
See, that surprises me because we'd originally heard Pokemon going into Springfield. Zelda makes more sense going into.
Nope, I told you.
I know you did.
You look, the signs are all in Epic for Zelda ending up over there. It makes way more sense.
Yeah, Zelda's going to be at Epic.
I'm telling you.
I mean, there definitely was a time where Zelda was planned for Lost Continent, but everything that I've been told says that flipped. And that Zelda is looking at the Epic expansion, but not immediately. That's a little down the road.
Make us wait longer.
And I think Springfield seems to have gotten a reprieve for at least a few more years.
Okay.
But Lost Continent, everything is pointing to whatever they are doing. They've just officially announced that where Spider-Man was in Universal Japan is going to be a Pokemon attraction and area. And it's the footprint of that would fit just perfectly on top of Lost Continent. So I think whatever we're going to see in Japan, that'll give us a good idea of what we're going to see happening in Lost Continent.
It's an interesting one. We talked a lot last week on the show about Hollywood drift and stuff and like licensing and bringing it over because the R&D's done for it, so it costs less money, and a lot of theme parks homogenizing things because it's because they've probably called it Hollywood drift because they can just do one set of merch for both coasts. And it interests me where
it's very true.
I find from a bean counter perspective, putting Zelda into Lost Continent for me would be an easier and more cost-effective use of that space, where if you put Pokemon in there, I feel like you would have to do way more work to get that to fit. Does that make sense? Like
they're just going to have to take everything out and
that's what I'm saying.
Start from scratch.
Like if you put Zelda in there, the topography of that land kind of fits it more than Pokemon does.
Oh yeah, I agree, but at the same time, something like Zelda, it deserves more than just a reskin of what's there for Lost Continent. And I think Lost Continent, they've got to bulldoze that. They got to start from scratch. They can't go reuse stuff if they especially if they're partnering with Nintendo. Nintendo is not going to be like J.K. Rowling saying, "Oh yeah, it's good enough to just change the name on the roller coaster." They're going to want a fresh build for everything.
Actually, when you say it like that, I'd rather it was like that, to be fair. I think they've done it too many times, haven't they? You've talked about it with Supercharge, where it's probably just going to be another re-theme of that. At some point, it's like whenever Springfield goes, you'd like them to pull that building out and do something entirely different.
We cannot have another Omnimax simulator in there.
No.
Please.
No. Oh my back can't take anymore.
Time is done.
When you stand in that pre-show and listen to that ride, you think, am I really getting on that thing? Because it sounds like it's going to break.
Yes, it does.
Oh, man.
Well, I think it's going to be there for, it's definitely going to be there all through 2026 and 2027. And I'm betting it'll be there for a bit longer than that even. We'll see how the Simpsons movie comes out when it the new movie when it hits theaters.
Yeah, I didn't even know they were doing one.
Yep, another theatrical film coming out.
Oh,
you're not dead yet.
They should be, because I know a lot of what I've heard is a Pokemon Snap attraction.
I remember rumors for that going around on message boards well over a decade ago. And I think there was a time when the Spider-Man attraction was first closing that I think Theme Park University, Josh Young, might have done an article saying that it was going to be a Pokemon Snap attraction.
What is Pokemon Snap?
It's a Pokemon game series. I remember it from I think Nintendo 64, where you're taking photographs of Pokemon. So so the idea would be like it would be an interactive ride, but instead of holding a gun, you're holding a camera.
I kind of like the idea of it. Actually, it's something different. Like, the problem is, it's like
it sounds very fun though.
But wait,
kind of like it would be like Buzz Lightyear with cameras.
Kind of. It's an interesting thing, isn't it? I've been thinking about this a lot lately. It's like, what is the next evolution of a theme park attraction? Because you look at Epic Universe and everything in there is, yes, it's different, but it's nothing. There's nothing new, like innovative in there, really. There's not that next thing that's completely different to everything else. And I think is, what is that next attraction?
I mean, until virtual reality gets to the point where you can just hand people a pair of glasses that's no heavier than 3D glasses, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't know if there's a totally new revolution as so much as just putting pieces together of other rides, like we see with a Rise of the Resistance or a Battle at the Ministry. There's no one thing there that's completely new. It's just doing a bunch of things well and putting them all together so that there's not just one centerpiece of a ride, but a ride is made of multiple things that in the old days would just be one ride.
I mean, to add to that, I think also just telling a really interesting story is key to having that, experience. It doesn't have to be a new style Kuka arm or, some kind of suspended gravity machine, right? I think if, like you said, like piecing together other rides so it's not one specific thing.
Yes.
And then just telling a good story and not, we've seen them kind of go backwards from a lot of screens being the ride as to more physical props. And I think that really showcases in, what is the one in Epic?
Monsters Unchained.
Monsters Unchained. Yeah, right. Like that's such a beautiful fusion of those two together. I think they got more on that end.
Yeah, they've learned to use screens as an accent rather than the main focus.
Yeah.
Actually, I suppose really the closest thing you've got to that next evolution is Mario Kart, I guess, because that's doing something that we haven't seen.
Reality. But again, just like in 3D, for every person who loves it, there's someone who really hates Mario Kart because it's not really fast and
that's me.
Figures aren't really there.
I love it. So, I love that ride so much. I really do.
It's much better in English than Japanese, though. I knew what I was doing this time around.
And Andy, I'm not saying that just to appease you, sir. I genuinely do like it.
I mean, I like it. It's fun enough, but I do miss, I don't feel like I'm on a ride.
Andy, I love that ride. It's my favorite ride ever.
I think you say that because
I feel like I'm in my room, like playing on the VR.
Andy sat there going, I remember listening to your epic hype list and you had it so low down, Christopher.
I eventually liked it on the second run through once I figured out what I was doing.
You put anything with any sort of competitive edge in there and I'm all over it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm all over it.
Yeah. Is the Universal Kids Resort opening this year or is it 2027?
Yes, this year.
It is scheduled to open this year in Texas.
Are you going out, Seth?
If they invite me, I will happily go, but I do not have any small children to take. So much like Legoland, unless it's a media event, I feel super creepy going to a park like that with no kids.
You could take me.
You just borrow Chris and
ooh, creepy uncle. No.
Yeah. I'm not talking about bringing my son either. Just take me, please. I could use a nice weekend in Texas.
It does look nice from everything that I've seen, but none of the IPs are ones that I'm particularly into.
Yeah.
And I really wish it had at least one unique dark ride. or kind of unique indoor attraction. Right now, I'd kind of put it somewhere in between Legoland and Peppa Pig Land in terms of its like technological sophistication, and not necessarily something that I would fly to Texas for. But I think it's going to be a big hit in that market because that's one of the few places in the country that's like really growing with young families. So I think they're going to do well there.
So what I'm hearing is when we do the UUOP weekender at the Universal Kids Resort, Seth is not going to join us.
I'm not sure. I'll be honest with you. I don't think I want to be there either. That's going to look super creepy.
That'd be super creepy.
Yeah,
60
exactly.
adults just taking over.
Right. Only if everyone is supplied with a volunteer child to accompany them. The real question is, are they going to have roller coasters like Pteranodon Flyers that you can only ride if you've got a kid with you?
That will be interesting. Do you think this is a test bed like with Horror Unleashed, that we've got the one out in Vegas and now it's going into Chicago, that this is a test and if this goes down well, we will see other kids resorts pop up around the country or potentially world?
I mean, potentially, Universal's been, or Comcast has been really open about like that they want to expand the Universal brand, not necessarily with another big resort, but with these, kind of smaller projects. I don't know where another one like that would go, but I can definitely see other small scale projects. They've got Chicago. They've got the Horror Unleashed to open up there first. And honestly, I have not heard much news. They had information coming out all the time ahead of the Vegas one, constantly, getting the hype train rolling for that. Heard much less about Chicago. So I'm wondering what the time frame is on that. And I'm also, honestly, I'm wondering how they're doing in Vegas, because Vegas is hurting right now. Just overall, the Strip occupancy in hotels way down. Flights in and out of people coming in and out of the airport way down. So they might be looking at the money coming in Vegas and slowing things down a little bit based on that brand.
I have heard rumblings. I don't know what I should say about this, about Chicago, that I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't happen.
Hey, I mean, Chicago is where Disney Quest went to die. So I wouldn't be shocked if the same is true about this.
Well, hopefully it lasts. One of them at least stays up long enough for me to go experience it.
Yes. That's
Although I would be okay never going to Vegas again in my entire life. If I go to Vegas, it's only for that.
Ouch. Well, everything at Area 15 is really worth checking out.
I really want to
Meow Wolf is fantastic. There's a whole bunch of really cool attractions at Area 15. And I still have a soft spot for Fremont Street area, the downtown Vegas. But the Strip is definitely not what it used to be.
Ugh.
It's not. Yeah. It's somewhere I've always kind of like been interested in, but not enough to kind of actually look at going.
Yeah. If you had a time machine and you could visit the Vegas of the 90s with the Star Trek experience and the rides at Excalibur and MGM, that would be great. But the Vegas of today, unless you are a very high roller, it is not for you anymore.
Oh, well, I'm there.
National Lampoon's Vegas Vacations Vegas. That's the one I want.
Yeah, that's long gone, sadly.
I suppose the only other thing this year then would be we've got our 35th anniversary of Horror Nights. Mm-hmm. Do you think they will make a big deal of it, Seth, or not?
I can't imagine them not. Every 5 years, they seem to really rev up the advertising, for the anniversary. And I know there's lots of speculation based on some things they teased in houses at the very end of last year of Jack the Clown coming back. Okay. And it seems like every year that they haul out Jack the Clown, that's always a big year.
Mm-hmm. I was really hoping you were going to say no, because I'm probably not going to be there this year.
Oh, it'll be terrible. You're not missing a thing.
I know one of the big rumors for this year is Hellraiser, which they've been talking about for a long time, and it's so surprising that hasn't been there.
I wrote about that in my wrap-up column from last Halloween, saying that I wish they would finally do a Hellraiser house. So hopefully Mike Aiello reads my column. That's going to come true. I know a lot of people are hoping for Stranger Things now that the series has ended. So I think they've got potential for a strong lineup. And me personally, I'm always looking forward to the original houses even more than the IP ones. I think the best way to celebrate the 35th year would be to add an 11th or even a 12th house. I think there's a room to do it. It would not necessarily be easy, especially with the construction that's going on for the new roller coaster. But there's space that they are not utilizing that they could. So I would love to see that happen.
I agree with you, Seth, but the issue is that I think if they put an 11th or a 12th house in, it wouldn't spread capacity. They would just up the capacity in the park.
Yeah, right, exactly. They just open the doors even wider.
So it wouldn't make any difference. That's the problem. Because they'd have to justify spending extra money on houses. And the only way they could justify spending extra money on houses is to either A, raise ticket prices, or B, up the capacity. And either way, someone loses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's an expensive event as it is.
It's, victim of their own success.
Very true.
The only solution with that would be for them to accept less profit, but that ain't happening.
That's not going to happen.
No.
That's not happening.
That's funny.
That's late stage capitalism. They're like, here, we don't need that much money.
Exactly. We should mention Universal's third theme park, Volcano Bay, of course.
That's closing. Oh, yes, of course.
Yeah, we totally forgot the fact that it is shutting down entirely towards the end of the year. And when it comes back in 2027, I would not be surprised if there are a few more slides. There's an expansion area at the end of the kind of little sliver of land that park is on. And they kind of cleared that land a long time ago, and then there were some trailers and construction equipment just kind of stored there. And recently, it looks like things have been shifting around there. So I don't know if that's just a coincidence, but I think that park, especially now that they don't have Tapu Tapu, I'm a little scared to see what wait times are going to be like there this summer. And I think they're going to look at see what those wait times are like, and then be like, yeah, we need to throw some more attractions in here.
Is this the same land? And correct me if I'm wrong, that they announced as an expansion opening year?
They pointed that out from the very beginning that was a future expansion lot, and we expected it to be filled out long before now.
Right.
So it's about time.
How long's that park been open now? 9 years?
Was it 2014?
I want to say 2017.
No, 2017. I'm sorry, 2017.
Yeah, so 9 years this year, and we're just expanding it now. Let's hope they do that for Epic
Supercharged cycle.
That'll be the new slide. It's interesting, isn't it, that they haven't done any IP-based things in there. Maybe they will. Ugh. Anyway.
Oh, in Volcano Bay, I hope that they stick with Volcano Bay being its own IP.
Yes. I would like that.
I like how they reference it at the Celis Tiki bar over in Epic Universe. I like when they have their own little characters and not necessarily tie it to a pre-existing movie.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
Awesome. Cool. Well, thank you, Seth. Of course,
Thank you.
Plug your things as you want to.
Absolutely. As always, you can find me and my guidebooks, including the unofficial guide to Universal Orlando 2026, on sale now at theunofficialguides.com. And you can follow me at Seth Kubersky on most social media platforms.
I used to love it before when you first started doing little things where it was like you were doing that many things that every show was like you would add something else. So it's Seth Kubersky, co-author of this, and then this, and then this, and this, and this, and this.
20 minutes later, I finished my resume.
Well, thank you, Seth. It's awesome as always.
Yes. And very interesting.
Always great talking with you. And I hope you do make it to town this year.
So do I, but it's not looking likely.
Look, I'm trying to get a job.
Well, it's not happening. Anyway, that's a story for another day. Anyway,
that's another episode.
Yes, it is. That is going to wrap up the podcast. Don't forget, we want you to go to Epic Universe's Isle of Berk and check out the 3 cones and rate each one of them out of 5 for our new listener submission thing this year, which is which corn makes you mourn.
Is there an alternative option for those of us who are lactose intolerant?
Unfortunately,
I
not.
just look at those mac and cheese cones and feel bad.
Well, you see, then it's the mourns for a different reason, isn't it?
Yes. Anyway,
they all make him moan.
There are certain recordings we do not want, but you rating those cones, you can send them to us at podcast@uuopodcast.com, and we will see you next week for more of Seth and another news show. So see you next week, everyone.
That's the end of another Stella episode of UUOP. Use the Flu Network to give you access to us on Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, TikTok, and Pinterest. Just search UUO Podcast. And check out our blog at uuopodcast.com for everything else. Send your owls to us at podcast@uuopodcast.com. And if you want to join the Producers Club, jump down the warp pipe at uuop.supercast.com. It's alive on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere else that podcasts are found. So please subscribe, rate, and review wherever you can. Dragons aren't the only way to get around. Email Michelle at portkeyvacations.com. She can take care of all aspects of your next Universal Orlando vacation. Listen to them, the children of the night, the children of the UUOP network. Rush of Fear Halloween Horror Nights podcast, the theme park duo for all your West Coast news and info. The Taste of Universal, Universal Orlando Food Podcast, Portkey Passport, an adult-centric Disney podcast, the unofficial Universal Great Britain podcast, and Big Dumb Stuff, our comedy, pop culture, and themed entertainment podcast. Make sure to subscribe and come back next week, because in the end, it turns out all we needed was a little more of this.